Shining Soul 2 is the follow-up to the 2003 hack-and-slash role-playing game on the Gameboy Advance. Landing a year later, this sequel builds on the same principles that were set out in Shining Soul. If you would like to know my thoughts on that game, you can watch my video review on my channel. I'll post a link in the show notes. Shining Soul 2 features 8 character classes to choose from, with each character class having its own strengths and weaknesses. If melee combat is your thing, then you might want to go with the well-balanced warrior class. Perhaps you want less speed but more power, in which case the Dragonoot will be your character of choice. The brawler is quick and powerful, but with low defense, and the ninja is a mid-range class with a good mix of physical attacks and spells. If you prefer to keep your distance, you might prefer to opt for an archer with a strong reliance on bows and spears, or perhaps a sorceress who can cast elemental spells. The priestess has a good reliance on support and healing spells, whilst the dark wizard has a sharp focus on dark elemental magic. With your character selected, you find yourself thrust into the midst of a tournament at the Clantol Coliseum. The tournament is interrupted by the news that Princess Camille has been kidnapped. King Marcel sends Defart off to rescue her and sends you, a promising recruit, off to scout an army of goblins that are congregating near the castle. Making your way through the goblin fort, you learn that the goblins did indeed abduct the princess, but they have delivered her to the evil witch, Wizari, who plans to sacrifice the princess to increase her own power. Reporting this information back to the king, our hero finds themselves setting forth on a journey as they set out to save the princess and restore the balance between light and darkness. The gameplay style here is the same as before. You enter a level, fight your way through various stages of it until you reach a boss battle. The environments have a pre-rendered look and feel to them, which sometimes feel at odds with the clean, crisp sprite work, but overall I felt it suited the game and was an improvement upon its predecessor. The designers have also tried to add more variety to the level design by including sideways scrolling sections and still screens, which add just enough spice to keep things from getting repetitive, but ultimately this is a repetitive game by its nature. You will do the same things over and over and over again. The backgrounds on the levels may look different and your character will become stronger and more powerful as you progress into the game, but the combat is still very simplistic. The boss battles here are where the combat can become more challenging, but these usually follow a simple enough pattern that once you work it out you're able to dispatch the enemy with ease. My favourite boss battle was the Kraken fight. I loved running back and forth on the seasick-inducing rocking ship, avoiding tentacle attacks. This battle really is a showpiece for the game and a testament to the creativity of the development team. Character development and customization is one of the areas where this game excels. You are able to assign your character 3 weapons, which you can swap between quickly mid-combat with a tap of the left shoulder button. You also have 3 item slots where you can assign healing items for emergency use mid-battle. Aside from that, you can improve your stats by wearing some of the many clothing items that you can either buy or pick up as you explore the various dungeons. Charge attacks will become your friend, and you'll find yourself holding the attack button to build a surge of power before unleashing it on an opponent. This uses SP, which your character will recover over time. As I progressed deep into the later levels, I was finding that my strongest attacks were required to tackle the enemies. I would find that this was wiping out my SP gauge, which led to lengthy spells of my character standing around in a safe zone whilst I waited for the gauge to fill back up. After destroying enough enemies, you will eventually level up. When you increase a level, you are rewarded with 4 status points that you can assign to your character in the following departments. Strength will give you more powerful physical attacks, Dexterity to improve chances of your physical attacks landing, Intelligence will increase magical attacks, and Vitality will give your player additional hit points. You will also get a single skill point that you can apply, enabling you to level up your attacks and thereby increasing how long you have to hold the attack button down. I did enjoy my time with Shining Soul 2. It's one of those games that is just good at what it does, but despite the attempts of the developers, it just fails to be a great game. The repetitive nature of the combat is disappointing. Sure, the different character classes allow for more variation between playable characters, but the lack of variety as you near the end of the game really makes it feel like a slog to get over the finish line and kills any desire I had to replay it with a different character class. Maybe the core quest was too long. Perhaps if the main story was shorter and more refined, I could be more forgiving. Overall, I would give Shining Soul 2 on the Game Boy Advance a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and follow at drgd_retro on Twitter.